is about this word called force summation. Force summation is how you can use your body to produce lots of force. And force is very important because the more force you produce, the more acceleration you get on a mass. And the more acceleration you get on the mass, the further it goes. And in terms of basketball, the mass is the basketball. And the more force you produce on that basketball, the more it accelerates away from you. And when you're shooting a three-point shot, you need a lot of acceleration on that ball so it gets to the hoop. So we need to use our body to produce lots of force, and some people can't get the ball to the hoop when they're shooting a three-point shot. And if you stick to 5 principles, 5 force summation principles, that will enable you to produce more force. And I'm going to go through very quickly what those 5 things are. Number 1, use as many joints as possible. As many muscles and joints. Some people just shoot and did that. And they're using this, this, and this. But if you shoot and you use this, this, your trunk as well, this, this, and this, you're using more body segments, you're going to produce more force. Tyler, can you get off your phone, dear, please? Can you go back on it shortly? Just put the phone down. That's rule 1. Use as many muscles and as many joints as possible. And we're going to come back to that. Number 2. Number 2 is the correct order. The first muscles you contract are the big muscles. The first thing you do when you shoot a basketball is you use these muscles around the hip and around the knee because they're bigger. They're the biggest. It's big to small. The big muscles first, and then that momentum's transferred through to the smaller ones. And so the order is this, your trunk, then your shoulder, then elbow, and your last thing you do is your wrist. And if you use that correct order, you'll produce more force. So order's important. 3 is timing. The movement needs to be very smooth. A very smooth transition from one to the other. Timing's really important. And when you link up the professional to you, you'll get a sense of your timing, whether you're contracting them all too quickly or whether you're doing it all too slowly. You'll get a sense of that when you watch it, when you link them together. Number 4 is that you fully extend out. So when I shoot, I fully extend. I end up in this position where all my joints have been fully extended out. If I just finish like that, I'm not going to produce as much force. Fully extend out. Produce more force if I do that. And the last one is use the full range of movement. And let's take my knees and my hips as an example. I can start from here, or I can start from here. If I start from here, I'm going to produce more force because I'm using a fuller range of movement in those joints. If I start from here, I'm not going to produce as much force. Full range of movement in your joints, you produce more force. And you'll see someone who's producing lots of force, for example, a javelin thrower at the Olympics or a shot ball thrower. Watch Valerie Villi and Valerie Adams in slow motion. She gets down really low in every single joint. She's using that full range of movement. She's actually very flexible for a bigger lady, and she's able to produce more force. And her event at the Olympics is about who can produce the most force. That's what she's doing. She's doing these things. Now, last thing from me, I'm going to come back to this point here. And this is what you're going to talk about in your assessment. That's the first thing you're going to do in part 3. This thing here. That is directly related to Newton's second law. Force equals mass times acceleration. I want to produce more force. That's what force summation is about. In order to produce more force, I use more muscle mass. Simple. More muscle mass I'm using uses more force. The more muscles I use, more equals more that. You follow that? That make sense? You can talk about that in terms of the muscles being muscle mass And you can talk about that increasing this is a direct relation to increasing that. And that's the whole aim of shooting a basketball from a three-pointer, to produce lots of force. Is there questions about relating that to that? Because to get a merit or excellence in this assessment, Teresa, because you're definitely going to get excellence because you put so much effort into things. The more effort you put in, the more you achieve. To get a merit and excellence, you need to interrelate the different principles, and this is an interrelationship between force summation and Newton's laws. And you should say that in your assessment, interrelate. This is interrelated. Any questions about that? Part 3. For today, as Miss said, you just have to have part 1 and part 2 done. Those people that have, you'll be doing PE tomorrow, those that haven't won't. But some of you are moving on to part 3 already. You can stop recording now.